of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From a place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV, and yes, it's the match review from yesterday's fantastic win against Italy, and I've got Roly with me tonight. How are you, Roly?
I'm great, thanks, Tony. It was a great win yesterday. So, it's a good game. Also, some rather interesting news today about Everton.
Well, yeah, we shall get into that.
They throw the book at them.
Yeah. If you like what you see, then please smash the likes. It really does help the channel with search results. So smash those likes in the show or on your way out. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. For it to do so helps the channel grow, and the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. Currently, I'm at 450 subscribers, so I'm 50 away now from 500 and nearly halfway to 1,000. So absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. So if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. It's well worth it. Also, there is a link in the chat if you want to make a donation to the channel, and just click the link and follow the instructions. Thank you very much indeed for that. So yes, guys, before we get into the show and get into any comments, yes, there was that breaking news this afternoon, and yes, the Premier League have referred Everton to an independent body to investigate their financials. We know about their losses that they have had. And at the end of the day, they could face a points deduction for this, and let's hope they throw the book at them, as Roly quite rightly said. But, but again, we just have to see. Hopefully, we might see the end of Everton. We might see them relegated and send them down to the Championship, and they can go and play. They can go and win a few games next season in the Championship. So,
it's crazy what they've done, because you're allowed to lose 105 million over 3 years, over a 3-year period, and they've lost 371 million, which is just ridiculous. They posted in the COVID losses, they posted 170 million, which is a joke. I'm sure in the Middle Ages people got burnt for less, it's even if you take that off, they're still over by nearly 100 million.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be interesting to see this being played out, and no doubt there'll be, if Everton are found guilty of it all and they're given deductions, there's going to be appeals going, and we know that's going to happen. So it
might not kick in this season if it takes too long. Let's hope they go down anyway, so they can have the points taken off them next season. Go down to League One.
Absolutely. I'll just get to some comments. Big up, Tony, says Brian. Big up to you, Brian. Hope you're well, mate. Hello, says Jake. Hello to you. Brian says, I'm about to say something that meant piss them off. We, not me, but as a whole, our supporters, I'm grateful. Owners want change. Some things let happen. Badge about time. Name, course not. Colours, love black and white. The thing is, Brian, I've seen some people saying they're opposing to if they change the stadium name. Now, they're still going to keep it as St James's Park, because what it'll be is it might say, for instance, a Ramco. So you'd have a Ramco at St James's Park. Now, to me, yes, we don't want the stadium name. But the last time the stadium name was changed by the Fat Man, it was for his own benefit to support his own brand. And really, his naming rights didn't really work. But with these owners, it's totally different. If somebody comes in and sponsors a stadium name and puts their name in front of St James's Park for £30 million a year or £50 million a year, do you know what it is? I ain't going to say nothing to that, because at the end of the day, I'll always call it St James's Park. It's been St James's Park since the day I was born, and it will always be St James's Park to me. So I couldn't care what name they put in front of it, because it'll always be St James's Park. And the way I'm looking at it is, if it benefits the club by bringing money in and helping the FFP, then I am all for this. If it was just to benefit the owners and they weren't putting the money in the club, then no, I would oppose it. But because I know these owners are totally different, and to be honest with you, I haven't got a problem with that. Have you, Roly, if they changed the stadium name?
It's one of those things that I'm not overly anxious to change it, but if they do it, say Aramco or Riyadh Air at St James's Park, that's not so bad. And as you said, the money would be going into the club. I mean, all the sponsorship that we did under the Fat Guy, the signage, the names, that was all through his brand. I don't think, if I remember correctly, for the last 2 years of his tenure, he didn't pay anything for the signs on the ground.
No, he didn't. No,
it's just to everything he did at Newcastle was to get exposure for Sports Direct.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Brian's saying about the badge as well. I mean, they may change the badge. Who knows? They may go back to an older badge. We don't know.
Changing the badge isn't such a big deal, because it's not the first time they've done it. It won't be the last. And the last time they did it was, oh God. So we've had this. It was. It's a long time ago. And badges aren't something you change every season, like your kit. So the only people that will have that it may be detrimental to is the people who've got tattoos of the current badge, but just mean they get the set.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when you buy the new shirt, it'll have the right badge on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The badge isn't a big deal. And I think all this has come up because there's the Premier League had a fan engagement program that clubs have to engage with the fans. And I think part of the rules is if you want to change, strip names, blah blah blah. But I don't think they're not going to change. They're not going to change.
No.
They're not going to change from black and white stripes. They're not going to change the name of the club. Badge maybe. Badge isn't a big deal. But the name of the stadium, that's going to. We need to maximise our revenue to stay where we are. It's not because our owners can't afford it. It's because everyone else won't let them spend their money unless they bring money in. So the more money we can get in, if they can name Aramco at St James's Park, the Sports Direct boards haven't been replaced, so we could put I don't know, Riyadh Air around there, and then you have Saudi as sponsoring the shirt. We could. I don't think we've had sponsors for things like the training ground, like Man United and Man City have, and all these other sponsorships that we can get, especially if we make the Champions League. If we make the Champions League, the sponsorships, you can almost double what they'd let us have. On the front of the shirt. I reckon that if we missed out in Europe, they'd only let us do about 20 million on the front of the shirt. If we're in the Europa League, maybe 30. Champions League, they'll let us do 40, maybe a little bit more. Plus, you've got all that extra. you can then up the sponsorship for everything else because they get more games, higher profile games where their brands are being displayed, so they can we can justify higher sponsorship deals right across the board. And obviously you've got the prize money for the Champions League, and then you have the money for just being there. That will allow us to spend more in the summer. I think we're going to have a busy summer.
Yeah.
How much we spend?
I think we will do.
How much we spend depends on where we finish. The players we go after will depend on where we finish.
Yeah, definitely.
I was on John's shows the other night, and they're saying, "Oh, they're interested in Osimhen. Well, if we're not in the Champions League, we've got no chance of getting him. If we are,
definitely not.
If we are, maybe. I mean, you know how much I'm a staunch fan of ASM and want to keep him. But saying that if we could do a deal for, say, 60 million and ASM, I'd do that because you're not spending the 80 million, you're only spending you're not spending as like 120 million, you're spending sort of like 60. That goes against the FFP. What you've offset against ASM doesn't count in that. So
absolutely.
that will enable us to buy someone else. Well, obviously you have to replace him, but it also allows you to have more money left in the pot to buy other players. I don't particularly want him to go for squad depth reasons, and I think he's had by previous seasons he's had a tough season. I think a lot of that's been due to the injury he had at the beginning of the season, and the way that we play is so intense, and that's why Isak. Everyone's saying we should have thrown. I mean, I was one of them saying we should have started Isak earlier, and then Eddie came out and said, "Oh, he can't do full 90 minutes the way we play." When you see when he started his first game, you could see that the work he put in, and he was sucking in air at the end when Wilson came on to replace him. And then you think, well, maybe Eddie was right. He couldn't last long enough to start him. And then obviously against Forest he did the full 90 minutes. So I think that the way we play is so demanding on players. And then if you're not getting full games, you're only coming on sub, you're still doing the training. It's still hard to really get to the pace of the game. And I think he's suffered from that because I think his overall play has improved significantly. He's more of a team player now. You even like they said he had a little hamstring niggle at Forest, which explained that's why they moved him in the centre and Isak out wide, which sort of makes sense. But you see in the games that he's played against Liverpool, to some extent against Man United, even against Man City, you saw that when he gets the ball, the first thing he does is look up and see who's around him. Whereas before, he'd just start running. And he seems to be more aware of what's going on around him. He's still transitioning from where he could just do his own thing to being more of a team player. He's going to have his ups. He has good games and bad games, but because he's ASM, when he has a bad game or not necessarily a bad game, but not a great game, everyone's on his back. And he still draws people to him, which gives Isak more space. So he's valuable in that. So
Isak's starting tonight for Sweden, by the way. He's in the starting 11, so he's wearing the number 9 of Sweden tonight, is Isak. Brian says, please tell me this is today about Everton. Yeah, it is, mate. He says, I was just about to go, ha, ha, ha. Tanji says, England, sleepies. Paul says, very good evening, Tony and Roly. Good evening to you, Paul. I'll just try and catch up with some of these comments. Brian says, oh, forget England, let's talk Newcastle. Dubai looks beautiful. It does. Sefton says, evening all, 3 lines on our shirts and boom, Everton. Absolutely. Jake laughing. Going to share Tony and Roly. Thank you very much indeed, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Lee says, good evening, Tony and Roly. Great results last night for England. Absolutely. We're going to get into that in a moment. Just once I catch up on these comments, and because lots of them in here. Tanji says, I'm sure Burnley will be annoyed that these Everton rules broken. I bet there will be, yeah, absolutely. What's Everton done? They've broken financial rules, Brian. So, again, we just have to wait and see what the outcome is of it. If they've done wrong, own it. Absolutely, Paul. Lee says, Championship is calling Everton. La, 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 la. Let's hope. Ian says, evening, Tony and Roly. Can we talk about something more exciting, like the common housefly rather than England? Just a thought. Evening, Sefton says, Ian. 2 on Twitter and YouTube. Thank you very much, Paul. Much appreciated, mate. Exactly, well said. Way to go, Paul, says Sefton. Bring more in, Sefton, says Paul. Big one is coming, trying to catch some chat for 8 p.m. Lee says the owner already shown us from the beginning, skipping the big crap around the ground, all the signs, absolutely. You're spot on there, Lee, with that one. Jake says, as long as they don't change it to a Saudi badge. No, I don't think they will do. PD Proudlock, hiya Pete. He says,
Pete.
Feel free to come on my show tonight. Plenty of food picks tonight. I'm sure there will be. Well, after the show, Pete, I've got to pop out because I need to go. I've got to nip out to the shop.
I'm not sure if I can make it, Pete.
But what I'll do is if I'm back in time, I may catch it at 9 o'clock. So I'll see what time I get back from the store. Hi, Paul, says Pete. Sefton says, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Hit that bell to get notified for upcoming. Thank you very much indeed, Sefton. Much appreciated, mate. And there we are. So, yeah, so obviously the show is about, talking about last night's game. And, it was we went into this game thinking, what are we going to, what's going to happen? How we're going to, what we're going to see from England now that Southgate's decided to stay on after after that World Cup where we went out in the quarterfinals against France when Harry Kane missed the penalty. But last night it was the opening fixtures of the Euro 2024 qualifiers in Germany. Well, to go to Germany. So we went to the Diego Maradona Stadium in Napoli, in Naples, and to face Italy, who beat us in the Euros, which technically they shouldn't have done. We should have beat them, but that's by the by. But England started off a little bit on the back foot. Italy sort of pressed us a bit, but then we got into our stride a bit, and then we started playing some free-flowing attacking football, and I was a bit like, hang on a minute, where's this attacking football came from? Because I don't associate this with Gareth Southgate. And we just seemed to be playing better than what Italy were in that first half. And, and then we get a corner in, I don't know what Di Lorenzo was doing, but he left Harry Kane with yards of space. He basically had the freedom of Naples, Harry Kane. And then his shot came back and Declan Rice then popped in and scored the first goal and put us 1-0 up. And we thought, oh, this is great. 1-0 up against Italy. But we all remember the Euros. We went 1-0 up against Italy. And look what happened to that. But, we went up and then further on, and we just started playing so well. I thought Jude Bellingham looked absolutely class in that midfield. He's a class player. Gets getting towards the 40-minute mark in that, and close to half time. We have another corner. Kane immediately appeals, and about 5 England players appeal for handball. And then VAR recommends the referee goes and has a look. And when you have a look, it's a clear handball from Di Lorenzo. Again, another error from Di Lorenzo, the Napoli player. And he was having a horrid night, by the way. And referee had no option but to give the penalty. And what happens next? Harry Kane steps up and we were like, oh, don't miss it, Harry, don't miss it. You've got to put this in the back of the net. And sure enough, he hit it he hit it well, and he had confidence when he hit it. And yes, Harry Kane went on and scored. not only scored England's second goal, but also broke the record by beating Rooney's record and scored his 54th international goal for England. And do you know what? No matter what people say about Harry Kane, for England, he does it every time for them. And you know, he's on a bit of form at the moment as well with his club. But great to see that emotion come out of Harry Kane last night when he scored that goal. That put us 2-0 up. And then right just before half time, we had a chance. We could have made it 3-0.
Yeah.
Don't know what Grealish was doing. I think Grealish, in a way, got himself, I don't know what he was doing, but he missed a chance. If he'd put that chance in 3-0, it might have looked a different story. I mean, when we saw this team news come out last night for the England team, you were thinking, oh, I'm not really so sure about that. Let's see what they can do. But you know what? He got it right, Southgate, I suppose. The second half came. Italy, I knew would come out fighting in the second half. I knew they were going to come out full of fire and they would want to try and get back into the game. And a defensive error from Harry Maguire presented Italy with their first goal, with their goal from their Argentinian forward, who's only got into Italy because his grandfather's from Sicily. So he managed to get in that way through the back door. Took his goal well, but Italy did. We were backs to the wall for quite a bit through that second half with Italy. They brought on Sandro Tonali, who I absolutely love, and I would love that kid in our midfield at Newcastle. He is a tremendous player. You know, he plays for AC Milan. I like him, Tonali, and I would have him in our midfield because he is absolutely terrific. And I thought he played well. Nonto played well when he came on for them. But I thought England did well to hold firm. Luke Shaw, 2 yellow cards in 54 seconds. And again, the referee causing controversy. Now, this referee, I just wonder if he's been at the same school as Paul Tierney, because he was dreadful. I mean, he's from Serbia, so Alexander Mitrovic country, but I thought he was absolutely awful, that referee. I mean, some of the yellow cards he was given were like, why? It's harsh. Like the one he gave for sure, the first one was harsh. The one he gave to Declan Rice was even more baffling because Rice was going to take the free kick and Harry Maguire gave him a shout and said, I'll take it. So Rice ran off to get the thing and he got a yellow card for it. I thought, hang on, what on earth are you doing, referee? Wait, what's that for? Even Rice was like, what am I getting the yellow card for? You know, and he was trying to explain to the referee. And it was like, this referee, I just didn't get him one bit. And I thought he was out of touch, to be fair. And hopefully we'll never see this referee again. But overall, I was very impressed with England last night. We saw two different sides to England last night. The first half, we saw England play with a bit of attack and flow, and they look terrific going forward. I want to see more of that, please. Let's see more of that. Second half, yes, we had backs to the wall, but I thought England defended really well. Pickford didn't have a lot to do in goal, but what he did do in goal, he did well with his kicking and things like that. But yeah, I mean, Roly, what's your thoughts on last night's game? Were you quite impressed with England?
Yeah, there's a much more attacking outlook than we've had for a while. I thought we did. I mean, we should have been 3-0 up at half time because I don't know how Grealish missed that one. He just needs to side foot it in the net. But I thought Declan Rice was really good in midfield all day. Some club is going to get a really good player when he leaves West Ham in the summer. Apart from that miss, I thought Grealish was causing trouble. But in general, everybody played well. I thought the Italians, as you said, they came back at us in the second half. Once they got their first goal, their goal, they never really looked like getting another one. A lot of huffing and puffing without actually creating that much. As I say, Pickford didn't have much to do all night. He's taking a leaf out of Nick Pope's book. I won't have much to do and did what he needed to do well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're just talking on T-Rex. He might regret signing a new contract at Everton.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? And Brian, Brian, the Sweden game I think kicks off at 8 p.m. against Belgium. So, and I think Alexander Isak may be licking his lips because guess who's playing in central defence for Belgium tonight? Leicester's own Wout Faes.
That'd be an
So
interesting one.
yeah, absolutely. But no, it was a better game last night, Roly, and
Yeah,
it was just a joy to see England just play with that, like I say, with that attacking intent last night. And do you know, I just look at that and I think if Southgate had played like this in that Euro final or had played like this in the World Cup, we could have done a lot more.
yeah, yeah. That's a disappointing thing because the way we went at Italy after we scored, we didn't let up. We didn't go defensive. We carried on going forward.
Yeah,
Maybe the time he's been spending with Eddie Howe's rubbing off on him.
yeah, maybe, and maybe he's been watching us and thinking, do you know what? Look how well they're playing as a team, and yeah, I mean that's the thing. He's got to, he's got to have seen the way we're playing and probably thought, oh, unless he's had a thought, and maybe his backroom staff have said, look, Gareth, we need a bit of a change here because if we don't change, people are not going to, people are just going to turn off from us. So maybe Gareth Southgate's looked at that and thought, you know what, you probably need to change things up. And if that's what he's done, then absolutely fantastic,
Yeah, but he's still picking his favourites. I mean, I don't know what Maguire is doing anywhere near the England squad. He doesn't hardly ever plays for Man United, so why should he play for England?
Well, that's it. Yeah, that does annoy you, but it is what it is. I mean, it's just one of those. We just got to, I suppose, it.
You have to live with it. Whilst Gareth's manager. But to be fair to Maguire, when he plays for England, he very rarely lets us down. So that's probably why he still keeps his place.
And I mean, as I say, I wonder if Trippier had a lot to do with this last night, and maybe he suggested this last night. And there we are, the team photograph in the dressing room. Trippier might have said to the England manager, "Look, you want to do a dressing room thing after the match?" Trippier stand there next to Harry Kane, but I mean, you know what it is. I mean, yeah, it's great to see people copying our tradition of doing photographs when we've won games. I mean, we saw Leeds copying it, but I mean, were you impressed with Italy last night, Roly? Because I wasn't.
No, they didn't show as much as you'd want. Defensively, they weren't like the Italy teams you expect. You always expect Italy to be solid at the back. And as I said before, we should have been 3-0 up at half time.
Yeah.
And that's very unfair.
Yeah, we should have been 3-0 up. But Grealish might regret now missing that one because, I mean, it's just, yeah. I'm just going to quickly go into some comments here before we get back to the all YouTube channels and need a LinkedIn account. Yeah, I've got mine sorted now, Paul. I've just got to sort a few things out. Mason says, I see John Sinclair's wearing his Man U shirt underneath his hoodie. Well, John Sinclair's not even on a Newcastle channel tonight. He's on an Arsenal channel. He's on a Big Six show. And it's like, I don't get this guy. He's a Newcastle fan. He's gone on an Arsenal podcast.
Yeah.
The only time I went on Lucas' podcast was when it was a match preview, Arsenal Newcastle at the Emirates, and me and Pete went on there. But that's different. But John's gone on for the Big Six show, and I hope he's having a great time on there. Tanji says, sent you a tweet, Tony. Yeah, I've got it, and I'm going to share that in a minute, Tanji. Lee says, the same ref sent off one of our players against Iceland. Yeah, he probably did. Yeah, he was an awful referee. I didn't like him at all. Yeah, 8 p.m. Brian. Yeah. Um, Sefton says England after match photo. I wonder who suggested that. Trippier. Yeah, absolutely. All games are 7:45 p.m. All right, okay then. I
And
thought it might have been.
the thing I'd say about the everyone doing the after match photos like we did is that imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery.
Yeah.
It's we've been brilliant. So yeah, if they want a copy, so
Maguire looks like Freddie Flintstone, says Lee.
yeah.
Brian says England after photo not seen it. Southgate copying Eddie. I like it,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look right though. Doesn't. Yeah, but the thing is though, Brian, everybody can copy what we do, but it'll never be as original as what ours is.
It's
And
like you
that's
see,
not me being biased because I'm a big Toon fan. I'm just saying nobody can absolutely copy our model now. It's
it's
unique.
like clubs doing flags now after war flags.
Yeah. Well, the Mackhams try it, but unfortunately theirs don't look very good because that's what happens when you buy them from Wish. We shouldn't have been sitting back second half, says Tangi. Yeah, we shouldn't have been, but Italy were pressing us. They were really coming at us, so Tangi. And,
Well, sometimes you can't
Italy were
help it.
trying to get back into that.
Sometimes you have to sit back
Mm-hmm.
if they're coming at you like the Italians were. You need to be deeper, and then obviously when Shaw got sent off, we needed to basically make sure that they couldn't get round us and couldn't get through us. So you forget about attacking because we're in the league, because we're leaving, and then we just make sure they don't get that opportunity.
Yeah, and the thing is, not just Harry Kane broke the record last night, but it was England's first win in Italy since 1961 on Italian soil. So, brilliant. Eh?
That's before I was born, so that's saying something.
But 1961. And it was also Southgate's 50th win as an England manager last night. So there we go. I mean, do you know what it is, though? But I just like the way we played last night. Yeah, we sat back. We had to sit back in that second half, sit deep, but because they were attacking us. And I think if we did go too gung-ho going forward, I think they would have copped us out and we could have let in an equaliser. And, sometimes you just got to grind these games out and win them. And do you know what? The thing is, the only reason we're playing Italy in this is because we got relegated out that Nations League. So we need to make sure, we start winning these games. And to beat Italy, now we've got to go and beat Ukraine on Sunday at Wembley, which will be on TV live. But I believe we should beat Ukraine. No disrespect to Ukraine. Last time we played them in the Euros, we beat them 4-0, and that was in Italy. So let's hope, but it'd be no good going out on Sunday and getting a draw with Ukraine because then that wouldn't look as good after we've just beaten Italy. So what you've got to do now is you've got to get out there, take the game to Ukraine. Let's play this attacking football against Ukraine. We go 2 or 3 goals up, Ukraine won't be able to stop us. And I think, because it's a sold out Wembley, it'll be absolutely fantastic. So, we look forward to Sunday. Tanchi says Trippier will probably play against Ukraine. Luke Shaw gets a rest now for our game coming up. Yeah, I would imagine Trippier will play left back. Brian says England supporter let us down again. No, going with Saints, disrespecting them. They're lucky the Ultra never got them mental. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter, Brian, an England supporter had something about Maradona and, is he in a box or something like that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And, you go to that stadium. And the thing is, John Sinclair did say the other day, I think it was when he was on my show, he did say Naples is not one of the best places to go to in Italy.
Yeah,
and
he did tell people to watch out in Naples.
Yeah.
Just go to the game and then get back to the hotel because it's nasty out there. But,
Lee says records can be broken in one game. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, It's just absolutely fantastic.
Did you hear the woman singing the national anthem? Our national anthem.
Oh, that was dreadful, wasn't it? I mean, she cocked up at first, she sort of stopped, and then she had to start again, and it was like, it just didn't seem right, did it?
I mean, she got started making a mess after the fourth word of the national anthem. It was "God save our gracious." Oh, what do I say now? It's in the title. God save the king.
Because I thought she'd said "God save the Queen." I had to rewind it back and listen to it, and then I thought, no, she hasn't. I thought, oh,
it's almost like she's singing a song in the shower and she doesn't remember the words, so she goes, "Oh, God save our grace," and wait till she got to a bit that she knew the words from.
Yeah, it's just
terrible.
Terrible. Yeah. Let's hope on Sunday it's a lot better.
I mean, I presume she's supposed to be a professional singer, so she should at least know the bloody words.
Well, yeah, supposed to. Well, I'm glad you said suppose, Roly, because you know. Brian says, "Did she choke? Haha, poor lass." She's done something, Brian. I don't know what the hell she was doing, but you know, maybe the autocue wasn't working, so she couldn't read the words and sing it at the same time. Or the karaoke machine was broken down. But no, I mean, overall, Roly, it was great to get that win against Italy last night, and just to start the qualification campaign off with 3 points. And let's now go out there and make a statement. Italy's got to now go to Malta and win there. And I'll tell you what, I know you're saying Malta, they should win there easy, but it won't be easy for them, that's for sure.
Yeah. Man, I must admit, I was a little bit disappointed Trips came on, because I didn't want, being selfish, thinking, well, if he can't come on, he's less likely to get injured if he doesn't come on.
Yeah.
Get him injured. So, but yeah, hopefully we'll have everybody will be fit.
One thing we did learn yesterday was Sven Botman was sent home from the Dutch team because of an illness, alongside Cody Gakpo and some other Dutch players. They've all left the camp because of an illness. Again, hopefully he's fine by the time it comes to playing Man U. But I mean, to be fair, it's good. I mean, yes, it's nice that he got called up, but. And I don't want to be sounding selfish as a Newcastle fan, but in some ways, maybe it's a good omen that he's coming back, because it means he has a rest before the Man U game, so he'll be fine. Because the last thing we want is him getting injured in an international game.
Yeah.
Especially when it's the only international break until the end of the season now. Tanji says, Qual scored against Ecuador for Australia in a 3-1 win. Wow, excellent.
Yeah. Just in the right place, right? So it wasn't a stunning goal to tap in, but he still scored it.
Brian says Sweden managed to get it on the Xbox, so I can't keep listening to you guys. No worries, Brian, but thank you very much, mate. And smash that like on your way out, mate. Great. Thank you very much indeed. He says, who poisoned more Botman? We'll find you. Haha. We don't know what it is. I think they had a dodgy meal or something, and but it is what it is. It does happen from time to time, and can't be helped. But if that's the case, then but at least he's home, and that's the main thing. Oh, typo, I can't keep listening. All right, okay, mate, no worries. Yeah, I know what you mean. These predicted texts are the European and the backside, aren't they? But so Botman will have a rest. But guys, if you like what you see, please smash the likes. I've got 20 watching, so smash the likes. It really helps the channel. Thank you very much. Also, if you are brand new at the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And the bell notification will tell you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. Me and Pete were talking about transfer targets and things like that the other night. I know this is a reaction show, but like I was saying to Pete the other night, I watch games now, and I think, oh, he would look good in our team, and wouldn't he be great on our bench, because he'd strengthen the bench, and that's the way it is now, because we're not under the ownership of our former owner, who we would only dream of signing this sort of player or that sort of player, and we just had to wait for a loan at the end of every window. So we couldn't even get Hamza Chowdhury in.
He always comes up in the
or
transfer
Baz
window.
Dost.
I mean, before the takeover, all I worried about in the window was, when's he going to sell our best player?
Yeah,
that was, we're always going to sell our best player at some point. So always worried about that. But now the world's our oyster. So
it is absolutely. It's just great now, isn't it, to be like, we don't have to worry now about our best players being sold, because that's not going to happen. But I mean, going back to this game, Roly, from last night, I mean, who was your man of the match last night?
Ooh, I think I'll put it down at Declan Rice.
Yeah,
I thought he had a really good game.
I thought he played really well.
He's I think how much he goes for at the end of the season will depend on whether West Ham stay in the Premier League or get relegated. That will determine the price. It's still going to be a big price, but if West Ham get relegated, they need to shift him, and that they can't.
Yeah.
They can't say, "Oh, we want 100 million," because if people say, "Oh, we're not going to pay that," they're going to have to do something, because they need to get him off the wage bill.
Because definitely have him at Newcastle, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Would he come?
Who knows?
I don't know. If we're playing Champions League, you might.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he played well. I thought Bellingham had a really good game. He went off with a bit of a niggle at the end, but I thought, first half, Bellingham looked absolutely unplayable to the Italians. I thought he had a great first half. But I thought, I'm not just saying because Kane got the goal, but I thought his all-round play, Harry Kane, I thought he played really well.
Mm.
He was getting in, disrupting.
I thought he did quite well defensively in the second half, or when Shaw got sent off.
And when he was getting the ball and making them come in to tackle him, and then he was falling over and getting the free kicks and that.
Yeah. I mean, I thought everyone had a pretty decent game. So, but I think, as you say, Rice and Bellingham did shine.
Yeah. But like you say, everybody had a cracking game last night, and it was well worth the watch last night, because I was a bit like, what am I going to watch here? And I thought, you know what, I was quite entertained when I watched last night, especially that first half. And
it just shows what they're capable of doing if they're allowed to play and allowed to actually attack.
Yeah, he sort of took the handbrake off Southgate and let them have a bit of freedom, which is great, because we have got a big talent of players, and just let them play with that little bit of freedom. Maybe spoken to the women's coach, and maybe she said to Southgate, "Look, Gareth, look how we've won the Euros, Gareth. Look what we've done. Play like us." Who knows?
Yeah,
she might have had her influence.
I very much doubt. Maybe she was talking to Gareth before they won the Euros.
She might have said to Gareth, she might have said, "Well, if you get sacked, I'm breathing down your neck."
What she probably said is, "Gareth, if you want to win games, go and talk to Eddie."
yeah, maybe, yeah. Sefton says, hit that like and subscribe and hit that bell for notification for forthcoming shows. Thank you, Sefton. Gary says, just let you know I'm watching, lads. Well done, Gary. Nice to see you on board, mate. Watching. What was your thoughts on last night's game, Gary? Brian says, first thing I do is like, thank you very much, mate. He says, come on, lads and lasses, hit the sub and the bell. Thank you, Gary. Brian, indeed. 5 likes, lazy, aha, easy. Pull the chat down like it, pull it back. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you can hit more likes than that. Tanji says, Czech Republic have took a 2-0 lead against Poland after 3 minutes. Bloody hell. I would have thought Poland would have probably won that game, but wow. 2-0 in 3 minutes. Oh.
I think the Polish side's getting a bit old.
Yeah, Lewandowski's.
He's about 78, isn't
Well, he's not far off, is he? I can't believe that, though. Is Patrick Schick one of them that scored? No, he's not, no. But yeah, they scored in the first minute and the third minute, Roly. And yeah, Poland's had 65% possession of the ball.
That's why that just shows you that possession stats aren't all that. Because if you could have 95% possession, but if it's all in your own half, you ain't going to score.
Poland's got Matty Cash playing at right back. Lewandowski's playing tonight. He's captain, but you know their manager's the ex-Portugal manager. But yeah, but other scores: France are winning 2-0 against the Netherlands. Griezmann in the 2nd minute and Upamecano on the 8th minute as well.
That's because Botman's not playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Sweden and Belgium are still 0-0 at the moment.
I've got that on in the background. So it's good to see a nice positive display by England.
Yeah. Brian says, "Are you joking? Come on, Netherlands, do for Botman." Yeah, stop the French. Sweden in trouble, says Brian.
Well, I don't agree with that.
0-0 though.
Yeah.
2-0 France, 8 minutes played, says Tanji. Yeah, these results are just weird, aren't they? And yeah, I'm just, I think we've got a nice little qualifying group. We've got it. When we thought we had got Italy, we thought, oh God, it's the top 2 teams go through anyway, so we should be fine.
I mean, we should qualify whatever the group, because there's normally only one other big team in the group. So we either win the group or come second, and that's normally enough to qualify.
Yeah, we've got North Macedonia, Ukraine, and Malta in our group as well.
Yeah, well, exactly. So, if you don't win against North Macedonia and Malta, you don't deserve to qualify for the tournament.
Well, let's remember, Roly, when Italy couldn't get the World Cup, who beat them? North Macedonia 2-1.
Well, yeah, and they didn't deserve to qualify. that just strengthens my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, looking ahead to Sunday's game, I mean, how do you see Sunday's game? Do you think we'll play that attacking football in front of the Wembley crowd?
I hope so. Because it's a game where you should have no fear. They shouldn't be able to hurt us.
Yeah.
Although we should be able to play freely like we did in the first half against Italy. I don't see any reason why we should start or play any different.
Yeah.
I just hope that we come away with it injury-free on a Newcastle perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with you. I mean, that game on Sunday, I'm going to stick my neck out here and I'm going to say England will win 4-0.
Yeah. And I think the thing that people sort of forget, especially when you're playing the minnows, that there aren't really that many easy games in international football these days.
Yeah.
Because even the small countries have players playing in the big European leagues.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the Premier League in some respects. If you don't turn up, you can get beat.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to play your best game to get through, but you've got to turn up. We've seen
Yeah,
it
definitely.
countless times this season. If like Liverpool losing to Forest, they lost to Bournemouth. And there's been, Brighton absolutely spanking Liverpool, Brentford, Man United getting spanked by Liverpool.
Yeah,
I mean, half this season, Tottenham haven't turned up in the first half. In some occasions, have managed to get back into the game. But so people say, "Oh, I can't keep giving teams 2-0 leads." Well, they proved that when we went down to White Hart Lane, got 2-0 up, and they couldn't
yeah,
get back into the game. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting what happens on Sunday. I think 4-0 is a decent guess.
mm,
Get off to a fast start. It could be more,
yeah,
but
yeah. I
again,
mean,
we've got to make sure that we don't go into the game thinking we've already won it.
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, we've got. Don't be complacent. Let's go into the game. Let's go into the game with full attacking intent, and let's just go out and do the job professionally. Win the game first and foremost. Get the 3 points. That's what you want. You want the 3 points.
Mm.
And to have 6 points from 2 games would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be just funny if Italy went to Malta and got a draw at Malta, and it'd be like, it'd be the laughing stock, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's European champions that didn't qualify for the World Cup. I mean, that's crazy. That.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, did anybody in that Italian team impress you last night?
No one stood out. Not for me. No one stood out. I mean, that's. I mean, they've got good players. Don't get me wrong, but there's no one that I think, oh wow.
I'll tell you what I was disappointed with though, Roly, was Mancini. Now, look, I understand when things happen. Now, when Shaw made that challenge, and what I didn't like to see, and I think Mancini is always been like that, and it's typical Italian. We know Italians are like this, but the thing is, they're thrown like flashing for a yellow card.
Yeah,
I just thought that's bang out of order. You're a manager at the end of the day. Show some respect, for God's sake. And I think his influence, as well as the players, and I think that's why the referee sent Shaw off.
Mm. Yeah, it's like the crowding of the ref. A certain team that plays in red that's associated with John Sinclair, notorious for doing that, just crowding the ref, trying to pressure him.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Even when we do it, you do find that Chippy will push him away and sort of let me deal with it, sort of thing. I just don't think it's great.
Steve Forth, love this channel. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Sefton says, hit that like button, please, chat. Absolutely.
Yeah, keep smashing the like.
Where would England play? Where would England be if they played in the Premier League? That's a good question, Jake. But top 8, I would say, definitely.
Oh, Belgium just got away with one. It looked like it crossed the line, but I think if they got goal, I'm presuming they got goal line technology.
Should have.
Yeah, so it didn't cross the line.
It didn't.
Nah, looked like it did, but if they got the goal line technology, which I think they would do,
Who was that for Belgium or for Sweden?
For Sweden.
Oh, then he scored, did they?
Yeah. Your friend from Leicester cleared it. It was only half over the line.
Vote face.
Yeah.
My friend from Leicester. Not my bloody friend. He's just a shit collar genie. Brian says, "Oh yeah, Kraft's back in training. Who would you prefer though when Trips needs a rest, Kraft or Ashby?" Down to see Ashby at work. Do you know what, Brian? I'm down to see Ashby play because he is definitely he's an up and coming right back.
Ooh, yeah. Just
I mean, Kraft, you've got to give Kraft a rest though if he comes back. I mean, he can't play yet, and he'd need minutes and everything, so you'd have to bring him on gradually. But I think Ashby's the one for the future to replace Trippier.
Yeah, I mean, Kraft's not going to play this season.
No.
Bring him along slowly, and it'll be the pre-season that you'll start to see more time, and he'll play in a few pre-season games and stuff. It'll be a battle between him and Ashby, who's going to back up Trippier. I mean, I'd like to see Ashby play. It'll be friendlies. He'll play in the Carabao Cup because he was highly regarded at West Ham. He's, from what I've heard and what they've talked to him, is a bit of a Trippier clone. Decent defensively, good coming forward, and takes a great free kick. So if he's a Trippier clone, what more do you want?
Yeah, I mean Trippier's the thing is, that's probably why England love it when he's on England duty, because Trippier he shows that leadership qualities that he brings with him, and let's hope Kieran Trippier just gets, if he plays the next game, which I think he probably will do. Let's just hope he escapes injury and he gets through it okay, but I think he should do. Let's see one of his free kick specials go in the back of the net.
He's not scored for a while.
He hasn't. He's due one a free kick, so maybe Sunday he may get the chance to hit a free kick and score it. But
I'd rather wait for the following Sunday against Man U.
Oh, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
No,
especially being ex-City as well.
Yeah. I mean, if we beat them, we'd actually go above them.
We do, on goal difference,
Goal difference. And I think we have a game in hand as well. Or was it the same?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
we're in a two over Spurs.
Yeah, we're in a really good position. Because we've got play Spurs as well, and we've got 2 games in hand on them.
Yeah.
We've got a game in hand on Liverpool, who are just below us.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be interesting.
It is. It's going to be absolutely.
We've still got a lot of tough games coming. Obviously, we've got to play Arsenal. We've got to play Brighton. Obviously, Man U and at Tottenham, and then obviously is it the last day of the season we play Chelsea?
It is last game of the season, so technically what we want to do is we want to make sure that when we play Chelsea in that last game of the season, we're not having to we're not battling for that top 4 place. We've already got it secured. We don't want to be going there for the last game of the season to be
what we want to be doing is going there in the last game of the season to try and stop them getting into Europe.
Yes, yeah.
That'd be funny if they don't make
just having a look for you. Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
I think they might make it, because with Man United winning the Carabao Cup, it would have been the same if we'd won it, because we're in the European places. That one goes down into the league.
Mm-hmm.
So the conference place would be 8th rather than 7th.
Yeah.
I think they can make at least 8th this season, Chelsea, unfortunately.
Ian says, does anyone know why the Toon Review Friday is not on? It was advertised a couple of hours ago. I've just had a look on his Twitter account, Ian, and I can't see anything where he said the show's cancelled. So I'm not sure, Ian. Because normally if Paul cancels a show, he normally does say that it's cancelled, but no, he put on 3 hours ago that it was on tonight. So I don't know, Paul. I don't know, Ian. I'm not sure, and so unless something's happened and he's just not had the time to put out there. But then I would have thought Billy might have put something out as well. But I've not seen anything from Billy, and I've certainly not heard anything from Billy to say that it's off. But I don't know, unless maybe they're coming on a bit late, and maybe maybe they're starting at 8:30 or something. I'm not 100% sure, to be fair, Ian. And yeah, by the way, I don't mind mentioning the tune review on here, by the way, because we know on John's channel, if anybody even once puts it on, it gets taken off because they don't like that channel's being mentioned on there, which I'm very surprised, because John normally doesn't mind the tune review being mentioned, because they're a good bunch there. And I've got a lot of time for the people from the tune review.
I don't see why you wouldn't want to put a channel like the Toon Review on, because it helps you as a channel.
Yeah,
being associated with them, because they are good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they'll also they mention other channels themselves. So yeah, it just seems a bit a bit precious not to mention decent channels.
Yeah, I'm just looking, Ian, as well on here, and looking at it's nothing even saying it's upcoming. So I don't know, Ian. I'm at a loss. I will message Billy though, and I'll ask Billy if he knows if the show's off tonight, because I'm quite surprised.
But in the meantime, you might as well just enjoy It's All Black and White TV.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just messaged Billy, just asked him, is the show actually on tonight or not? And see what Billy says by the time I'm on before I go off. Brian says, Kevin playing, different player for Belgium, not seen him. Kevin De Bruyne. Do you know what it is? He's even at the World Cup, I wasn't impressed with him. I wasn't impressed with Belgium full stop in the World Cup. I thought they looked absolutely diabolical. And, they deserved to get beat off Morocco, because Morocco were the far better team than what they were. Yeah, he is. He's a totally different. He is a totally different player when he plays for Belgium. And Ian says,
"It hasn't been that great for Man City this season."
No, I wasn't that impressed with him against us, to be fair. Well said, Roly, says Ian. Yeah, well, it's true though, Ian. At the end of the day, I mean, look, and the thing is, I can't understand why John. Because John used to always mention the Toon Review on his channel. And the other week, Gary D put in his comment, the Toon Review's on a 8:30 after the Newcastle game against Wolves. And it got deleted. And then somebody else said something about Toon Review the other day, and that got deleted by the mods. And I'm thinking, why? And then Les is putting out there, can we not talk about other channels, please? And say, well, hang on a minute. Toon Review's not just any other channel. I mean, Paul, Billy, Danielle, Alex, all good friends of mine. And do you know what? I've got a lot of time for them. So I don't mind saying anything for the Toon Review. Like when I've done my warm-up shows, I'll always say, look, if you want to watch the alternative commentary, the Toon Review's on, go and watch the watch-along. And I'll always give Pete's channel a shout-out when he's doing a watch-along. So I'll shout out all the channels. I'm not... At the end of the day, we're all fans and we're all do the same thing and we're all out here to entertain everybody. And
it's almost like they think that if you watch their channel, you can't watch any of the other team channels. Where I know people like Seft and Mag and I Like Coffee watch all the ones that I watch. So just because you're watching, say, It's All Black and White TV, doesn't mean you can't watch Toon Review or PD Proudlock or The Loaded guys. You can watch all of them if you want. So why it's I don't understand why you have a problem with naming the decent channels.
Well, that's it. And I mean, the thing is, as I say, at the end of the day, we podcasters, we put these shows out. I mean, we give up our time and we put these shows out for everybody. And at the end of the day, we do this, because sometimes, I mean, it's not only that. I've had people DM me and say, look, I love coming on to listen to your shows because I'm a person on my own, and this is the best part of the company I get by watching things like this. And you know what? It gets you and it hits you right there when people say that, because you feel for these people, because some people are in that position where they're just on their own, and they look forward to these shows coming on, and this is exactly why we do this, because we do this because one, we're very passionate Newcastle fans, and we want to see our club do so well, and hopefully one day we'll pick up a trophy in the not too distant future. And but yeah, it's and Mason's just come in there and said, "Oh, Paul's took bad, that's why it's off." Oh, thanks, Mason. No worries, mate. I have messaged Billy, but yeah. He says, just seen it on the group in the Facebook from his partner, Susan. Well, Paul, I know you won't be watching, mate, but if Billy's watching, or any of the Toon Review guys and girl, Danielle, tell Paul, get well soon, mate. I hope he's all right. And,
that's from me as well.
Yeah, because he's a brilliant lad, as Paul. Absolutely smashing guy. Brian says, yeah, you sure it was for today, because he scheduled the other day, waited 15 minutes before I realised. Yeah, it was, but as Mason says, Brian, it's off. Ian says, yeah, it's not as if you can't watch both shows. Absolutely, Ian. Exactly. Of course you can.
If it's just live, you can watch them on catch-up.
To me, Ian, it's pathetic. I'm sorry, it's pathetic when people do that. And I have said this to John before. Your mods are removing things about channels, John, and you normally, about the TTR, and he said, oh, well, that's what I've got mods for. And it's like, right, okay, John, I'm just trying to explain this to you. So I don't get it. I don't get it. And if my mods came on and started removing people's comments because I mentioned another channel, I'd be saying, no, don't do that, please.
I mean, it's, at the end of the day, it's his show, not the mod show. So if he wants to say, if he wants them to let people mention other channels, it's up to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Get well, Paul, says Brian. Yeah, absolutely. Big up. Ian says, I'm on my own, Tony. These shows keep me going. Oh, brilliant, mate. I'm glad to do. And this is what I'm saying. We can bring it to people like Savian, who's on their own. And as I say, I've had people DM me and say, look, I thank you for putting these shows on, because obviously you give up your time to help, and at the end of the day, it's nice when you get that feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just nice that, you're helping somebody out.
I mean, it helps me out because I get to talk about Newcastle with people that care about Newcastle. It's great. I just love coming on.
And that's what it's all about. We're all a little family at the end of the day. That's the way I look at it. We're all a family. Sefton says, get well soon, TTR Paul. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a good mood. Mod, you mean? Yes, Sefton. We know that. Yeah, we know you are, Sefton. But like I say, I just didn't get it on John's channel. And I'm not attacking John's channel, by the way. Yeah, so anybody's thinking I'm attacking John, I'm not, because John's a good friend of mine. But I just think... a good
channel, but he has his ideas about things that probably he doesn't sort of... He has his ways, and I think some of the things... everyone ribs him about being a Man United fan when he's not. But
yeah,
he makes it easy for people to do that.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Well, I've told him a few times that you need to... If you want people to stop, you need to do... don't mention them. I mean, he will... The other day, say that he'll say someone's made a comment, he's a great lad, he's a Man United fan, check out his channel. Well, why do you need to tell everyone he's a Man United fan? Just say, well, he's a good lad, he's got a great show, check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially as people keep teasing you about being a Man United fan, and I'm sure he's getting a bit fed up with it. You don't give him fuel to the fire.
Brian says, I wait all day for you, John, or TTR. In the meantime, Matty and Rob will keep me up to date. Excellent, Brian. Thank you very much indeed, mate. It's just great to have that support. Lee says, this show's getting better and stronger all the time, mate. Thank you very much indeed, Lee, for your kind comments. That's absolutely fantastic. And Sefton says, thanks to Lee. Guys, we're come to the end of the show now anyway. And so tomorrow, England under-21s take on France under-21s at the King Power Stadium in Leicester. And yes, I will be there tomorrow for that game. I've got my ticket. I bought that last week. I've got my train ticket. So I'll be going to Leicester tomorrow afternoon. I will be doing vlogs. So I'll do a vlog on the train, probably depending where I'm sitting and that. But I'll do a vlog on the train if I can. And then I'll definitely do a live when I'm up at Leicester as well. So do keep an eye out for those. And I'll do some vlogs in the stadium. So so be sure to check those out tomorrow. I thought for the price of the ticket, I thought was very, very reasonable for the under-21s. It was only £16.50 for a ticket. So I thought, well, that's not bad. And £25 for me train tickets, so £41 in total. And I thought, you know what? Why not? And then I totally forgot, and I thought I feel a bit. I'm going to watch them tomorrow, and I feel a bit bad now because obviously on our local news tonight down here in Suffolk, they said, "Oh, it's not this weekend. They want you to go and support your local non-league teams." And Nick Pope's very first team, Bury Town, are playing at home tomorrow. But unfortunately, I'm off to Leicester and not Bury Town. But I will catch up with them, and I am hoping. But I'm hoping that I can get a tour of Bury Town. I'm trying to arrange it with their chairman so I can go down there and maybe get an interview off them as well and ask them, see if anybody can remember Nick Pope as well. So if I can get that, then I will definitely do that. And so I will let you know. And, and I'm sure they might do that with them being a community club. And with me hopefully being a podcast, having the Newcastle channel and Nick Pope being the Newcastle player, they may do it. So I'll wait for them to get back in touch with me. And so let's get some of these comments. Nothing else on, man. Nice, I'm joking. Big up Tony Rowland. Chat next time. Yeah, thanks very much, Brian. Indeed, mate. Yeah, you too, mate. Enjoy your evening. Ian says, so you're not doing a review of the Scotland game, Tony? No, Ian, no. Sorry, mate. Sefton says, chat warning, don't eat Doritos, tangy cheese, addiction warning. Yeah, okay, Sefton.
Yeah, they are rather nice.
Yeah, Ian says, cheers, Tony and Roly. Great show as always. Thank you very much, Ian. And Brian says, I prefer chilly heat waves. Oh, God. So, Roly, as we always do you want to let people know where they can find you on your socials? You've not got as many as what John's got. John's got about 20.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I'm on Twitter at Pols67.
There we go. John's a ticker and a tucker, isn't he? So, yeah, I mean, as I say, if you like what you see, then please smash the likes. It does help the channel up the search results. So if you're watching the show on catch up, then smash those likes. That's much appreciated. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. Free to do so. Helps the channel grow, and that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows as well. But yeah, you can find me on TonyTunia31 on Twitter, so follow me then. I'll follow you back. You're also on my channel, so you know where that is. And as I say, keep an eye out tomorrow because I will be putting various videos and that out tomorrow. So so I'm away to Leicester tomorrow. I'm getting, I think it's the 10-1 train from Ely. Yeah. Takes around an hour and a half to get to Leicester. It's not till 5 o'clock the kick-off. But I just want to get up there and try and get up with the build-up. I'm going to try and see if I can interview some fans if they're willing to have interviews with me. And then if I can get some interviews of fans, that would be absolutely fantastic.
Belgium have just scored.
Belgium have scored, have they?
A header from Lukaku.
And so I'll get some videos and things like that. And hopefully if I can get some fans' reactions to the game, ahead of the game or whatever. Should be a good game against France under 21s anyway. Shame Anthony Gordon was injured because he probably would have been playing tomorrow in that game. But yeah, and Sefton says, off we the saying all. Brilliant show. Thank you very much indeed,
Thanks,
Sefton. Off we the saying to you. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, so guys, that's the end of the show, and thank you for watching, and yeah, take care and enjoy whatever you're watching tonight. Majority are probably watching football, so enjoy the football tonight, and let's hope Isak scores for Sweden tonight and gets them back into the game, and maybe let's hope Sweden beat Belgium, and that would be fantastic indeed, wouldn't it? So so from me and Roly, it's ta-ta for now. Enjoy your evening, and see you on the next show. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.